Hey, what's up? So, in the last video, I showed you how to come up with a consulting business idea using DeepSeek. And in particular, we're looking at options for a person with an accounting or finance background. And I walk you through the steps from the prompting to the different steps on how DeepSeek came up with the ideas. And one of those ideas that came up was a virtual CFO, a virtual chief financial officer. So that's where we ended. And in this video, what we're going to do now is to look at how you can 10x your income and impact as a virtual CFO. We'll begin by looking at who a virtual CFO is and what that person does, and then how you can position yourself as a virtual CFO and increase your income and your impact for small and medium businesses. Before we go into the training, I want to let you know that this is a really viable option, because whilst it is true that I am not a finance professional and I have not worked as a virtual CFO, I have worked as a virtual CLO, a virtual chief learning officer, for many small businesses over the last 15 years. And the same model applies whether it's a chief learning officer, a chief finance officer, a chief marketing officer. You can be a virtual, or in some cases a fractional, and I'll look at the two. I'll explain what the similarities and differences are. In my case, I use them interchangeably. So some cases I've worked as a virtual CLO, and other times as a fractional CLO. Basically, it's about whether I'm fully remote or I'm sometimes present at the client site. If you have to be at the client site sometimes, that's what we call known as a fractional. So there are days that you're there and days that you aren't. That's a fractional situation. So you could be a fractional CFO or fractional CLO. If it's virtual, then you're working 100% remote. I've done both. Everything else is the same except for the presence and working remotely. That's what's either virtual or fractional. So let's get into the training, and I will walk you through what it entails, how to package your services, some of the tools you can use, and what possible next steps are if you want to go that route. All right. So we are here and we're looking at how to 10x your income and your impact as a virtual CFO. So, who is a virtual CFO? Basically, you are a high level financial strategist. You are more or less an outsourced chief financial officer. Now, if you work in the finance industry, then you certainly know the difference between an accountant and the chief financial officer. Basically, you are the strategist. If you are the chief financial officer, you are the one that drives the financial strategy and the decisions for a business or an organization. And if you are less than that, an accountant, a finance officer, you are the one doing the tasking, doing the operations. Okay. So a virtual CFO is the one who works remotely and works part-time and can be more affordable for small to medium businesses. Now, let me put this in context, because I do have students and followers all across the world. And so depending on where in the world you are, the circumstances could be different. If you're in a place like Liberia, Ghana, in West Africa, or Africa in general, the income levels are much lower, and the need is not as quite as high as you'd find in more advanced economies. That said, there is still a need. It's just that you'll have to do things a little differently, and the income levels will be lower if you're looking at it in US dollars, but certainly high if you're looking at it in local currency. So I want to put that out there so that we know what we're dealing with. Okay, so now that we know who a virtual CFO is, let's look at what it takes to shift from the mindset of an accountant to that of a CFO or a virtual CFO. So in traditional accounting, you're focused on tasks around bookkeeping, on tax preparation, on financial reporting. Whether you're reporting to shareholders or you're reporting to donors if you're working in the nonprofit sector. Those are the roles and responsibilities associated with traditional accounting. A virtual CFO, you're dealing with strategic finance decisions, decisions that affect growth of the business, high level decisions that could make or break the business. So when you're a virtual CFO, you need to understand that the small business is really depending on you because many founders don't have the finance knowledge. They come with their technical expertise. If you're a founder in tech, you're a founder in agriculture, you're a founder in whatever sector, it's not likely that you come with finance background. Maybe you do, but most founders don't come with a finance background, so they rely on the chief financial officer to help them make the best financial decisions in the interest of the firm or the business. So you have to understand that you will be playing a major role here as a virtual CFO because there are employees whose livelihood will depend on the kinds of decisions that you will advise the company to make. So you got to shift your thinking and realize the level of responsibility that comes with that role. The outcome, obviously, as a CFO, virtual or not, your decisions, your actions have higher value, and that means it comes with a higher pay level, and you have greater impact. So that's something that you need to look at as well. And those are the major shifts that you have to make. There are services that a virtual CFO provides, and these are high value services. And you can provide these to between 3 and 5 clients very conveniently, very comfortably, and especially with the rise of AI. And I will show you some tools you can use. You can provide these services quite efficiently and still have a lot of time to do other things that you want to do. So, what are those things that a virtual CFO will do for his clients or her clients? One, financial planning and forecasting. You will advise small businesses on how to plan their finances, how to forecast revenues and cash flow expenses and profits. And you advise them on amortization. If they're going to be taking loans, what could that loan mean? The interest rate, how will it affect the profit margins? All of those things, if they're investing into property or equipment, whether it's a capital expenditure or real property. How do all of those play out? You will be advising these small businesses on that. Um, and then how the sales numbers, how it affects everything else. You advise them on cash flow management, how to make the best use of cash flow. I have seen a lot of businesses that were quote unquote profitable on paper but didn't have cash flow. As a matter of fact, I will be honest with you and tell you that my business has struggled with that for a while. I mean, I open up by telling you I'm not a finance expert, and I have now had to work with finance experts to help me structure my finances. But for a long time, I had that issue where my business is profitable on paper, and there's revenue, and there's account receivables, but there's just no cash. So a virtual CFO helps a business deal with cash flow management and optimization. You will also find yourself helping clients with profitability and pricing strategy. You know, Mike McCalloway writes a good book called Profit First. So I see profitability and I think about that. And in there, he talks about, how small businesses can be more profitable by first taking out profit before operational expenses. And there's a strategy and approach to all of that. But as a virtual CFO, you will help businesses plan profitability and pricing so that they are profitable. And if you work with startups that are looking for funding, then obviously you will support them with fundraising and investor relations. People will invest monies into companies that they see to have sound financial policies, financial statements, and practices in place. And when investors have questions about your financial a company's financial situation, guess who they're going to be talking with? the CFO, not the founder specifically. Unless that founder is a finance officer or a finance professional, that conversation is going to be held with the CFO, and in that case, that will be you. So you can already see that, this role is no walk in the park. There's huge responsibilities that come with being a virtual CFO, and that's why they get paid well, and you can get paid exceptionally well as well if you decided to go into this route. I mentioned AI because everything is now being AI driven, and you cannot be a finance professional without leveraging artificial intelligence. And so you will understand quickly that you will also be involved with AI driven financial analytics. You will help businesses because artificial intelligence now, there are tools that can help with analyzing the market, analyzing, customer share, market share, customer valuation. You will help your clients understand who their most profitable clients are and who aren't, and what are some of the steps they can take to increase customer value. All of these things, you will work probably with marketing, the marketing division to come up with some of these things or to make sense of some of this data. So, and then finally, scaling the business and risk management. These are all some of the things that you will be working with as a virtual CFO. So this is quite a handful. But for small businesses, you could do this for 3 to 5 businesses comfortably because you're not working on each of these things every single day. But again, if you leverage the tools that I will share with you, you will see that you can do this quite efficiently. And so working with up to 5 clients monthly is going to be very, very simple. You can literally do a client a day. I mean, one client, one visit a week, and deal with everything. So if you've got 5 clients, you've got one client that you go to every Monday, another every Tuesday up to Friday, and in between there, they have access to you by phone and email. That's one model that works. If you're going in person, and if you're not even going in person, you could still work remotely and dedicate your time to one client per day. Okay, so now how can you leverage AI and automation to 10x your efficiency? I just talked about that, the tools. So let's look at financial reporting. You can leverage tools to generate and automate financial reports and then leverage additional tools to do the analysis, and then you bring in your expertise to make sense of this report. So we've got tools like Phantom, like LiveFlow, Sift, and I will leave a link to each of these tools in the description below. Um, Full disclaimer, some of them or maybe all of them will be affiliate links. I encourage you to use those links because then I do get paid a small commission on whatever price you pay for subscription, and that supports the channel and helps us going. Speaking of supporting the channel, this is where I urge you to stop. If you like the content so far and you like what we're doing here, please make sure to hit that like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. This lets YouTube know that I'm doing a great job and improves my positioning amongst trainers and coaches and consultants on YouTube. But it also lets me know that I'm doing a good job. So please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with other professionals that you know who could find value with it. So coming back, we say automating financial reporting is one thing that you can use AI for, and there are tools. There are more tools than these. These are just some of those that I can come up with quickly, and I'll share links to them. Please use those links to check them out. A lot of them have free trials, and so you can definitely check them out, try them out, and see if they're fit for you. Um, Another thing you could leverage AI for is in forecasting and cash flow. So again, there are tools like Jira, like Mosaic, like Float. All of these tools are designed specifically for finance professionals, and as a CFO, you can use these to help you help your clients. Definitely. Decision making. AI can support decision making, and whilst it is true that you want to leverage your experience and your expertise, you can also get the support of AI in making decisions or helping your clients make decisions. And there are tools like Domo and Cube that will help you do that. So in 2025, it's not I mean, that's been the case for a while, but especially now and moving forward, it's no longer about working harder. It's about working smarter. And if you use the tools that are available to you, you can and you should work smarter and make greater impact and profits along the way. So now that we know the tools, let's talk about what kinds of clients could benefit from your services and also support your goal. Remember, the goal here is to 10x your income and your impact. All right. So, who are those clients that will pay good money for the services you provide? These are the high paying, high value clients. So, we're looking at clients like funded startups and scale ups. These are startups that have recently received a venture capital funding, whether it's seed funding or a first round or second round or third, seed funding. Those are the startups, the scale ups. Maybe now they're receiving the second or third round funding, but they've got money. The key here is a funded startup has money and they need to spend that money. And your job, if you have access to them, is to help them make the right financial decisions so that they don't spend the money ad hocly or spend the money, for lack of a better term, stupidly. Okay? And they will pay you some of that money to help them spend their money wisely. You can also look at 6 and 7 figure online businesses. You'd be surprised how many 7 figure businesses still suffer for cash flow. Like I mentioned, I'm one example of a business that could be considered profitable or that is profitable, but have had issues around cash flow. So 6 to 7 figure online businesses definitely will need a virtual CFO to help them with cash flow management and profit strategy. You can also look at, consulting and agency owners. There are different types of consulting services providers. If you're coming on as a CFO, you could partner with an existing consulting firm, a small scale consulting firm, not the big five or big 10, not the Price Waterhouses and the Goldman Sachs and the those big guys. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the smaller consulting firms that may not have a dedicated finance professional, and you can partner with them. I remember some years back, I was heavily involved into investment proposal development, but again, finance is not my strongest suit. And so I partnered with a finance professional, and whenever there was work to do on a business plan or investment proposal, I will work with my partner on that. I do the market research, would do the narrative, discuss all the market situation. But when it came down to the finances, he had to come in. And so that can be done. You can also offer similar services, partnering with consulting firms and agency owners. You can also look at SMEs that are looking to scale or raise capital. Some of them, like the first one was funded startups, but now you have SMEs that may not be in the tech space or in the agri-tech or fintech or whatever where the startup money is going. But these are existing SMEs in sectors that have money, but may now be looking to raise additional capital or just improve their financial leadership all around. So think about logistics companies, think about marine contractors, think about woodworker, real estate builders, construction companies. These are regular brick and mortar businesses that are small to medium, maybe doing up to $5, $10 million a year. Depending on your market, that could be a small and medium business. In some markets, those are large businesses, but I know in the US, for example, up to 100 million is considered a small to medium enterprise. So you want to target businesses that are doing, between the 10 and 15 million, or even $5 to $10 million, and still a small business, but definitely need some strong financial leadership, but don't have the resources to pay 300, $400,000 a year for a full-time CFO, and they can bring in you as a virtual CFO. What you need to remember is high value clients equals premium fees. High value clients are those that you provide high value to. If you're not providing high value service to them, they're not a high value client. They may have all the money, but I want you to come from that mindset that who can I provide the highest value of service to? Because that person is a high value client, and not necessarily just because they have money to spend. How can you package your services? These are just recommendations. You can mix and match them, or at the end of this training, there's an opportunity I share where you can work with me, reach out, and we can work together to package your price and services if you decide to go this route. But as a starter package, depending on the size of the client you're working with, 2K to 3K per month to support them on cash flow and reporting analytics. That's fair enough. You could also have a growth package for larger businesses, or slightly larger businesses, where you're not just looking at cash flow and financial reporting, but you're helping them develop profitability strategy and leverage AI insights. That's the growth package. And you can have a premium package where you bring everything together and you provide board level strategy. You support them with fundraising. All right. So you can offer these three, and you could have one client at each level or two clients at a starter package, one at growth, one at premium. If you did, let's say you're on the low end and you've got two clients at starter, that's $4,000, and one at growth, that's another four, that's eight, plus one premium, that's eight. So that's 16K per month if you're in the right market and you package and position yourself properly. All right. The key here is not to sell the services. You want to sell the impact, the return on investment. What are you going to help your clients achieve? That's what you're selling, not I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And we've got a series of high ticket sales trainings coming up where we talk about how to sell your services. But remember, it's not the things that you're going to do that the client is concerned about. The client is concerned about how are you helping me? What impact are you going to make on my business? And so make sure you sell return on investments and not services. How do you attract clients? How do you make clients come to you? You do that by building authority. All right. So you want to leverage LinkedIn and X to offer thought leadership. You want to share your insights and financial strategies that will support small businesses. And if you don't know what to talk about in this space, there are ways to do that. You can check out my website, danmaxwelljr.com/content marketing, and you will see there's a lot of articles that will be coming up where I share authority building content marketing strategies to help you build the kind of authority that brings clients to you. You also leverage YouTube or podcast where you teach CEOs on profit and growth tactics. So some of the things that you do to help clients, you can share that on your YouTube channel, much like what I'm doing here right now, where I'm sharing ideas on what to do to transition from a full-time employee to an independent consultant or business service provider. Okay, now these are the same things that we teach our paid clients, but we just take it deeper and help them customize plans and strategies and solutions that are in tune and aligned with who they are as well. So if this is something that you're interested in, at the end of the video or down in the description, there's a way to contact me and we can schedule our first premium call. It is not free, but it is an investment worthwhile. And if after the 1 hour, you don't feel that your 1 hour was well spent, we will refund you your $60. But we do that to ensure that the people who sign up for our calls are people who are serious and ready to take their business to the next level, and not just somebody who's looking for freebie. So if you're ready to develop a personalized strategy for your business, then I encourage you to invest the $60, schedule a 1 hour call with myself, not a team member, but myself, and I'll help you develop a strategy and an execution plan for your business. And if after the call you don't feel your $60 was well spent, just send me an email and I will refund your money, no questions asked. All right, moving forward, you want to also leverage lead magnets and email funnels. These are things that if you're not familiar with them, you will learn along the way. You want to leverage case studies and testimonials, show results from your past work. It could be from your past job, or you can actually even create hypothetical situations and use them as case studies. Okay, so the key again is to be the go-to expert. You want when people start to think of a fractional or virtual CFO, your name comes up. When somebody goes on Google and they're looking for a part-time CFO, you want your name and your website popping up. All right. So these are things that you can do to make those happen. All right. You can also offer high ticket workshops and retainers. When I first started consulting, that was my first thing. I started to offer workshops for small business owners and those looking to start businesses because I was a business development consultant and I still am. And so you can do the same thing and then offer a retainer services. So depending on the size of the client, like I mentioned earlier, you could have 5 to 15K per month as a fractional CFO retainer. You could also do a mastermind where you bring in other CFOs together to help teach them specific strategies that they can use in their industries. And you could easily charge 10K per year per client. You can have 1 day workshops, VIP strategy days, where you charge 5K per session. Again, make sure that you offer value that is 10 times more than what people are paying to be a part of your program. So these ways will allow you to multiply revenue without increasing your workload. All right. Now, if you've gotten to the point where you've maxed out on what you can do as an individual, then you might want to, and you still want to grow, you might want to consider starting a CFO agency. So you start first as a solo, you work with 3 to 5 clients at about 5K plus per month. Before long, you're doing $15,000, $16,000 a month. But then that's about it. That's about how much you can do on your own. If you want to go beyond that, you probably want to build a small team of financial analysts and bookkeepers, and that allows you to now have an agency you can take on more clients. And if you position yourself as a boutique firm, you could easily go up to 50 to 200K per year per client. Okay. So remember, you are not a freelancer. Even if you work alone as a solo entrepreneur, you are not a freelancer. A freelancer is someone who competes for one-off jobs. You are not a freelancer. You are a consultant and you are providing high-value services to your clients on an ongoing basis. Now, from a consultant, you can now become an agency owner. So that's the progression. That's the natural progression, but you're not a freelancer. All right. So what do you want to do? What's the 10x path to success? Well, like I mentioned, start solo, build authority and price accordingly, then get a team. All right. Start solo and quickly start to build authority, publish high value content, and then that will allow you to charge premium prices. And only then you can move on to building a team. All right. You will multiply your impact when you help businesses grow, optimize profit, and secure funding. So if you become known as a person who does that, who helps businesses do this, you will have more clients than you can ever need. And there are ways that you can do this. And along the line, in our coaching program, we teach you not just how to attract clients, because I think that there's enough people doing that. Yes, we'll focus on that, but the real focus is how can you bring the most value for your clients? Because when you bring value for your clients, they stay with you. You don't have to go looking for new clients. All right. So more on that will be coming up subsequently. So what are the next steps? As it is right now, if you want to start your journey as a virtual CFO, or you need help positioning yourself so that you attract premium clients, do well to contact me. There's a link in the description below that takes you to my calendar. You may schedule a 1 hour premium conversation. That is not free. It's $60 to schedule that call. You will pay $60 and we will hop on a call for an hour. And if after the 1 hour, you find that the conversation and the resulting strategy that we create is not worth the money you paid, just send me an email and I will gladly refund the $60. All right. What I want and why I'm asking for this is so that I get people who are serious about taking their business to the next level and not just people who want to waste time, because I don't have the time to waste, and I sure know that you don't have the time. Now, if you're at a point where for whatever reason you don't have the $60 right now to schedule the call, that's okay too. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and you can always come back when you are. In the meantime, you can also subscribe to our newsletter. That is free. We share tips, and there will always be additional trainings on here. You can leverage the trainings on the channel to create your first income. All right. And I will continue to build the playlist so that you have series of videos that when you watch them together, they help you to create some startup income that you can now use to invest in your coaching and mentoring. So I hope this helps you. Let me know in the comments what your greatest takeaway is. And as a matter of fact, I want you to do this for me. Go ahead and start a thread in the comments. In that thread, so the first thing you want to say is, what this was my greatest takeaway, and this is what I will do in the next 7 days. What steps, what actions are you going to take in the next 7 days that will get you closer to launching out, if you haven't already, as a virtual CFO or as an independent consultant? Let me know. And then 7 days from now, come back to that very comment and let us know what you did and what the outcome was. You see, this is a way of holding yourself accountable in a very public manner. Nobody knows you, nobody knows your handle, but it tells yourself, it allows you to remain accountable to yourself. So go ahead, drop in the comments what your greatest takeaway was and what you're going to do in the next 7 days to get you closer to your consulting business goal. I hope you found value because I know it's been really valuable. And until next time, my name is Dan and I am out. Peace.